Hello, my name is Emily Dolphing. I go by M. I use she, they pronouns. I'm a master's student studying psychological research. I'm also a graduate assistant mentor at the Office of Undergraduate Research Services. Today, I will be talking about LinkedIn optimization. I've had my LinkedIn for about 2 years. I've made 10 posts and have over 200 followers. So first, we will overview who is on LinkedIn, discuss first impressions, guide you on how to create a profile, talk about connection building, review your resources, and encourage you to make posts. So let's overview who's on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the world's largest professional development network. Here are some statistics. Over 50 million companies are registered, posting over 4 million jobs. Over 4 million members were hired through the platform. There are over 830 million LinkedIn users like yourself, with about 2.8 million recruiters. Now, LinkedIn uses an algorithm to connect recruiters, jobs, and potential connections to users. Tied for the most heaviest weighted for the algorithm is your headline and profile photo. The second is your about/summary section, then your experience, and lastly, your skills. Now let's discuss first impressions. First, you want your profile photo because recruiters spend about a fifth of their time looking at the photo to make sure that you aren't a bot, for example. Make sure to position yourself centered in the photo, have good lighting, don't crop photos, and only have yourself in them. Have professional clothes on, and the Career Development Center on campus takes professional headshots. The last slide of the presentation has our information. Now, you want to have a background photo appropriate to your field and desired job. The examples are on the top of the slide. The first one has health symbols, which is good for health professionals. The second one is a picture of a neuron, which my friend who is a neuroscientist in training has as their background photo. Lastly, you can have a background photo related to your research. For example, if you work with LGBT plus individuals, have the disability plus pride flag. In my case, I work with disabled students, and I have the disability pride flag as my background photo. Finally, your headline should include keywords related to your skills, strengths, and recent titles. You want your headline to signal what you want your desired job to be and how you are an ideal candidate. Really maximize those 220 characters. I recommend that you customize your URL to be shorter and more succinct than the generated generic URL. That way you can put the URL on the top of your CV, in your email signature, or on a business card. Feel free to pause the video and follow the steps. Now back to the headlines. There are some words to avoid, such as seeking for, searching for, open to, student/recent graduate, aspiring, and unemployed. You want your headline to speak for yourself by focusing on the job you desire, the skills you bring, your results, and your strengths. Now, here are some headline examples. The first one is mine. I state my education status as a master's student in psychological research, my current job status as a disability justice research lab manager. It signals that I have experience and want to continue doing psychological research. As for results, I state that I'm a public speaker and author. I conclude with my desired field of working with community psychology. Your About section is a summary of your skills as you are introducing yourself to the reader in person. Thus, it will be in person and conversational, but still professional. In the Jobs tab of LinkedIn, the employment position will state skills and requirements. Look over the jobs that interest you and write down keywords that you see repeating so you can include them in your summary. You also want to convey your passion, excitement, and motivation to work in your desired field. Lastly, write about what makes you particularly stand out. Now, here are some instructions on how to create and edit your About section. Feel free to pause the video and complete the steps. So moving on to your experience, first draw up your resume, but make sure it's concise. Basically, you want to make your point across with less words. Make sure that you continue to use those keywords that I mentioned earlier. When you write about your experiences, focus on what resulted from your work. So, for example, in my position, I make social media posts. In my CV, I write about how much activity and following has increased as a result from social media posts, instead of only mentioning that I make social media posts. If you are a teaching assistant, mention how many students and how many assignments and how many times you were visited in office hours. For research, instead of writing conducted research analyses, type what software, what type of analyses, and the purpose of it, such as a conference presentation or a manuscript. Lastly, Grammarly has free revision checking that can be installed in your browser. Their premium subscription also has student discounts. You can also add any high-ranking coursework that you're trained in. So for example, I plan to add my statistics coursework since it is relevant to my research. Feel free to add any projects such as a senior project or capstone, as well as language fluency, awards, honors, publications, and volunteer experience. Now here are the instructions for the skills section. Under your About section, your top 5 skills will appear. In your skills section, you can choose up to 50 skills. Make sure to order the skills that you most value and are most confident in at the top. Your skills that in this will relate to and appear underneath the skills. After you create a profile photo and your profile, make sure to connect with your peers, professors, only if you have a professional relationship with them, people from conferences who you networked with, people in your field, recruiters, and people you work at companies you're interested in. If you aren't ready to connect with them, feel free to follow them. Now, here are some recommendations to connect. Sign up to Nexus. Beach Nexus is a CSULB's exclusive online mentoring and professional network that connects alumni, students, and community together. When you write a connection, write a note detailing why you want to connect with them and how you know them. If you attended a conference, connect with attendees within a week. If you want to connect with a professor, do so after grades have been submitted and you've established a professional relationship with them. Now let's talk about some of the features exclusive to the LinkedIn app. Here are some instructions on how to record your name if you choose to do so on the LinkedIn app. Feel free to pause the video. Also, you can record your elevator pitch. Elevator pitches are 30 to 60-second personal positioning statements, also known as a sales pitch. You're going to cover who you are. So your name, I am blank, or I do blank. What do you have to offer? So pick 1 or 2 strengths. What you are looking for as a result, I have been able to do blank. And then insert your accomplishments. Then what are you interested in doing? Basically, what you want to do in the future compared to what you are doing now. For example, hi, my name is Emily Doffing. I use she, they pronouns. I am a master's student studying psychological research. What I particularly like doing is research with disabled and other marginalized college students, including their empowerment and activism. As a result, I've been fortunate to manage a disability justice research lab and receive funding for my thesis using participatory action research. I intend to take a couple of gap years conducting research or teaching at a community college before pursuing a PhD in community psychology. My last piece of advice is to stay active with LinkedIn. Stop, celebrate, and share your accomplishments with others. Make posts about conferences, publications, new positions, skills, and opportunities. If you make a post, write using action verbs. So in other words, what did you actively do? Come from a place of gratitude and show your commitment to keep learning. Tag any places or connections that were involved. Feel free to use hashtags like #GoBeach. Pictures are always welcomed. If a connection or a following makes a post, you can like it, love heart it, support it, call it insightful, and celebrate it. So wrapping up, I recommend 3 on-campus resources. All 3 of these resources can review resumes and cover letters. Obviously, I recommend the Office of Undergraduate Research Services, OURS. Feel free to ask your OURS peer advisor for feedback on your LinkedIn profile. The Career Development Center provides professional headshots for students and alumni, as well as job fairs and career counseling. The University Writing Center can provide feedback on any written material. Thank you for watching and happy networking.